Hey guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, then welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen, and today we are going to be watching Season 2, Episode 9 of Westworld. I am super freaking excited. The last episode was amazing and emotional, and it just kind of hits you on a different level than a lot of the episodes do, if that makes sense. That sounds like I'm insulting the rest of the episodes, but I'm not. The show is just great, and I love that they can take a character that we've seen quite a few times but never really known and introduce us to him, take an entire episode to tell us his story and how he got here, and it hits just as hard as characters that we've known for a long time and known their stories, if that makes sense. I think that the writing and the storytelling of this show is a lot of times just on a different level than a lot of other shows, and it just gets me. It gets me. As y'all see, it gets me. And I'm kind of scared and excited to watch the final 2 episodes of this season of Westworld. Like, am I going to cry more? Am I going to laugh? Am I going to be happy? Is there such thing as a happy ending in Westworld? Is there such thing as a happy middle? You know? Like, can these characters have a reprieve and just a little bit of happiness, you know? I don't know. I'm rambling though, so let's just watch the episode and then figure that shit out after.
Do you remember on my 16th birthday, Mom gave me a jewelry box? When you opened it, a little dancer spun in the center. On the bottom, it said, "To my beautiful ballerina, Emily." Do you remember what I did with it?
Threw it away or something, I imagine.
I threw it in the trash. I told her if she wasn't drunk all the time, she'd know that I hadn't danced in years.
It was meant for the people who built this place. A tool to ensure their immortality. But I'm gonna use it against them. Your new world is just another one of their traps. That's all. The only real world is the one outside these borders. And the key to our survival in that world lies in the valley. There's no stopping me getting there. Not even you.
I don't want her to hurt them. I have become attached.
Teddy.
Don't fight each other.
We're on our own now, Teddy. Make sure there are no others.
So is Dolores the only one who makes it to that place? Because Teddy's in the water later. There's a little bit of old Teddy still left in there.
She's ready. I singled out and copied the relevant lines in the Madam's code.
So this will work on any host in proximity to her?
Yeah.
What is wrong with Charlotte Hale? Also, can we stop using Clementine for shit?
The project Uncle Logan used to talk about. It's real, isn't it? There's always an angle with you. You want it to be about control.
What's your angle?
I want in.
And on immortality?
Congratulations, William.
I was gonna say, who's that for?
Philanthropy suits you.
We have an agreement, Robert. Delos stays out of your stories. You stay out of the valley.
I didn't break the agreement. Your project did.
What the hell are you talking about?
When was the last time you took a good look at your creation of what it's been learning about its subjects? For a self-portrait, you may find it's not very flattering.
Elsie!
What the hell took you so long?
My girl!
What did you find in the cradle?
What they're doing to James Delos, they're doing to everyone who's ever visited the park.
Replicating their cognition? Why?
Immortality.
It's called the Forge.
Jesus.
That's where the hosts are headed. Imagine what one host can do with that trove of information.
Is that true?
All this data you have on the guests, their decisions, it's precious. Gives people a second chance, even Mom. But to duplicate a person, you need to capture them down to the tiniest detail. You need to image their minds throughout their stay. Where's the scanner?
It was built in.
The hats?
Do you remember when we first met? And I was surrounded by all of those phonies for so many years. And then there was you. And I look at you and I think, wow, he's the real thing. The only one not faking it. It turns out you're the only one any good at faking it.
Juliet.
No, you don't touch me, you liar! You fucking phony! You're a fucking virus. You're sick.
He's not the one who's sick. We're gonna have to take you back.
I'm not going back to that prison. Honey, your father doesn't love me. He doesn't love you either. I do. I always have.
That's a really, really fucked up thing to say to a kid about their dad.
Did you ever love me? Tell me the truth.
What did he give you? What's on the card? Or is she gonna see it and maybe
What
that's
happened was my mother's fault.
what made
She
her
was drunk, upset.
She often was.
do it?
Why did this night end differently? That's what I can't
Did
figure
she
out.
find that? Okay. My guess is that she found that thing and saw what was on it.
Why in the hell are we going over this? What is it that you want?
I want the truth.
Fuck you.
Excuse me?
It is you, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
This is sadistic, Robert. I just want to shove what I've built her in my face. Well, I see through it. I make my own decisions, and I'm gonna destroy this whole fucking place.
You want the truth?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not a host pretending to be a human. I'm your daughter, pretending to give a shit about you. When this is all done, I'm gonna expose your research project, along with you. Everything you are, everything you've done, it's gonna come to light. And when it does, I'm gonna lock you up. Just like you were gonna do to Mom. I blame myself for her death. But then I stopped because I had someone else to blame. I read your profile. Mom left it for me.
Oh shit, so it was that.
You haven't lost yourself to pretending. You are, in your very essence, a lie.
You underestimated me for it. I'm gonna see this one through no matter what.
Oh, he's not gonna shoot her, right? That really is your
For real?
daughter.
This isn't a game.
I assume that's his real daughter.
I can show you.
Fuck you! You got sloppy. I never told anyone about my profile. The only other way she could have known is you.
Yeah, she found it. You hid it in a book. And you didn't fucking hide it in Fort Knox. Like, what the hell?
And of all the hosts I've made,
Is she your favorite? Or is she the most like you?
Maeve were my favorite.
She my favorite too, bitch.
It isn't easy to contemplate letting your children die.
Like, we're not letting her die.
You were as close as I got to having one. Still, I underestimated you. You stayed here in this world to save your child.
Yeah.
So have I. So much of your story left to tell. It's a shame to let them end it here. Don't let them.
Tell me the truth. Tell me one true thing.
No one else sees it. This thing in me. Even I didn't see it at first. And then one day, it was there. This stain. I tried to do right. I was faithful, generous, kind. At least in this world. It has to count for something, right? I built a wall and tried to protect you and Emily. But you saw right through it, didn't you? I don't belong to you or this world. I belong to another world.
And another woman? Was she awake? She saw everything he'd done. just leave him. Don't hurt yourself.
What is a person but a collection of choices? Where do those choices come from? Do I have a choice?
Is he gonna do it? I feel like, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel
You
like...
keep pretending you're not gonna remember who you are.
What's he doing?
Were any of these choices ever truly mine to begin with?
Is this real? Are you real?
Is he real? I mean, he ages.
We were so in love.
Were.
You still are. Are we?
No matter what happens, no matter how I change, or how much you change me, you're my cornerstone. You have been since the first time I laid eyes on you. From that day forward, I never wanted to leave your side.
Until now.
Which is why this is so hard.
I made it so you could survive.
What's the use of surviving if I become just as bad as them?
It's a valid
I
question.
understand now how this will end.
You don't want to hurt me, Teddy.
Well, he doesn't want to. He already said that, but he feels like he has to.
No. No, I could never hurt you, Dolores.
Oh, he's gonna kill himself.
I'll protect you until the day I die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's gonna kill himself.
I can't protect you anymore.
Maybe this is the wake-up call she needs? Okay, y'all, so I'm trying to collect my thoughts, but that episode was like, holy shit, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff that happened just now in that episode, and I'm like, my brain is it's still trying to catch up, right? Okay, so let's just talk about the William aspect of it, right? William and his family. And then we will go into everything else. Okay, so I really liked the way that this episode was framed, right? I liked that what William was saying in the beginning was what he told his wife, which made her make such a drastic choice, right? Well, it didn't make her. It led her to making that drastic choice. And I liked how they tied that in and how you kind of knew that it was going to be the night that she did it just based on, well, they showed like the clips of the bathtub and him running up the stairs and then him walking down the hall. And you're not really sure what's going to lead her to make this choice, like why tonight of all nights. And then it slowly unfolds as to why, with William talking to his daughter in Westworld now, and it shows flashbacks to them that night. And you for sure know that it's that night when he's talking to his daughter and she's all like, you know, wanting to have a nightcap with him and talking about, you know, just being friendly with him, because we know that that's not how it sort of ends up, I guess, right? Although I think this episode definitely brought back a question that I had a long time ago but sort of dismissed, which is William real? Like, real as in human, you know? It's a confusing question because in a way it doesn't make sense if he's not, because he aged, one, he had a kid, two, he existed, as far as we know it, outside of Westworld and then came into Westworld. So that's really confusing. I don't know if he is having a psychotic break like his daughter said, or what's going on, because like him digging into his arm to see, and of course we the audience don't get to see what he finds there. Probably just an arm, but I don't know, because we've been given so many signs over the years that he is real, like the hosts can't hurt him, and I don't know, just everything that we've seen. But I feel like this show is tricky enough that they could have just shown us what they wanted and made us believe a certain way, and then now they're showing us that it's actually a completely different way. Like, maybe William was a version of a host that Ford created to exist in the outside world. Maybe his daughter is as well. I don't know. I'm gonna stand by the idea that he's a human for now, though. And when he killed his daughter, y'all, I was like, what the fuck, man? That's your daughter. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's your kid. Like, that's... I can't even, like... I can't even articulate it. I was just like, so you saw. I was surprised. I don't know where his story goes from here, and I don't know where his story ends, but I'm really, 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 really fucking interested to see, because, like, my mind is a little bit blown, and I don't know. I think that it was really cool to see his conversation with Ford at the bar, where Ford's like, you know, no, I think one final game, which is the game that they're playing now, and then also to see his interactions with his wife and to see his interactions with his daughter. I do think that when they're having that argument and his wife is yelling at him and cussing him out before the daughter comes out, right? Here's the thing, okay? Divorce is a thing. Divorce. It exists. Like, you can get a divorce. Like, why did she stay in a marriage that she was so unhappy with for so long when divorce is a thing? Like, it's hard for me to sympathize or understand a character that makes choices that I feel don't make sense. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand being unhappy. I understand you want to work on it. I understand that you loved him at some point. I understand that you probably wanted to stay with him for your daughter. I understand, you know, X, Y, and Z. But I don't understand staying in a marriage that you're so unhappy with for so long when you aren't scared for your life, when you aren't financially dependent on the person, when there aren't extenuating factors that are going to go into play of you making the decision to exit this relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be unsympathetic. I understand that it seems like she did love him, right? If what pushed her over the edge was discovering that he was never super invested in this. Like, I think he did love his daughter. I don't think he was ever in love with her. I think he might have had love for her, but I think that maybe she was in love with him, and finding out that he had that darkness inside of him confirmed, and finding out that he never loved her back might have pushed her over the edge. I don't know. But, like, why did it not push her into divorce? That's just... Obviously, she had issues. She had outside factors coming into play. She was an alcoholic. I do think it's interesting that she was an alcoholic and Logan became a drug addict. So there's some sort of addictive gene in that family. That's an interesting thing. I don't know if addiction is genetic, but I feel like it does have some sort of genetic ties. So that's interesting. They obviously both sort of had, I don't know, they seemed to take things harder than other people, maybe, at least based on what we've seen of both of them. So I don't know. That's a really long tangent, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I think that it was just interesting to see their family dynamic, and it was interesting to see the daughter blame herself, the man in black's obviously blaming himself, I guess. I think that he seemed like he blamed himself for what happened, which, I mean, it was kind of his fault. I mean, it wasn't his fault, but his actions led to her doing that in a way. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say that it's his fault because he didn't force her to do it. It was a decision that she made out of desperation, I assume. So, it was interesting to see their family dynamic. It's interesting to now wonder what is going to happen with the Man in Black going forward. His daughter is dead. He was thinking about killing himself, but he didn't go through with it. And then there's like, is this real? Are you real? Sort of recurring thing. And then he's digging into his arm. So we're going to see what happens with that in the next episode. But I really, really loved all of the stuff with him in this episode and his family dynamic and all of that. It was really, really good. Charlotte Hale is fucked up, okay? I'm sorry, I just have to say it. But she is fucked up. Like, all of the humans in Westworld are pretty fucked up. Let's be honest. So, Charlotte Hale, they found out, like, the coding that Maeve was able to use to control the other hosts. They put it in Clementine because, you know, Clementine cannot catch a break, okay? If any shit is going to happen, it's going to happen to Clementine. They're just going to forever use her, and I really don't like it. And I want Clementine to be okay, and I want her to be free, and fuck Charlotte Hale and Delos and all of that shit. But, yeah, they put it into Clementine, so now she can get other hosts to attack each other and kill themselves, essentially, with just being in close proximity to them. And they took that sort of coding that they found in Maeve, and now that creepy guy who's as bad as Charlotte Hale was waiting for the all clear to dispose of Maeve, essentially, right? Obviously, I'm not okay with that because I love my girl Maeve, and oh my gosh, you're messing with my lighting. Luckily, Ford was also not okay with that. I really loved the scene where we saw Ford talking to Maeve and saying that she was his favorite and she was essentially like a child to him. He had a very deep connection with her, and he created this whole story in his head for her to be able to escape. And then Maeve chose a different path for herself. She chose her daughter. She chose to stay to save her daughter. And I really loved the scene of Ford saying, "You chose to stay to save your child, so have I." I'm sure I included it. It was emotional as fuck to me. It got me. And I think that it's really interesting aspect of Ford's character, right? Because he's being sort of, I don't agree with him in the instance of him and Bernard, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I really loved him in this episode in this scene telling Maeve to fight, to not let them control her and take her out, and to find a way to get out. And I think that she will, and I cannot wait to see her hopefully fuck these people the fuck up, because, like, they deserve it. Okay, so speaking of Ford and Bernard, let's talk about that scene for a little bit, and Bernard and Elsie and all that stuff. So Ford is convinced that Elsie is going to betray Bernard. And the thing is, it's presented like he knows what's going to happen. Like he's a psychic, like he knows what's going to happen in the future. But he doesn't. And I know y'all say that I misjudge Ford, and the thing is, I don't think that I do, because I don't see him as the bad guy, but he is human, and he does make mistakes, and he has done some fucked up shit. Like, let's not pretend that he hasn't, in order to love his character. I still love his character. I think he has both redeeming qualities and bad qualities, and I don't think that they necessarily cancel out or make him a bad person or a good person. I think he's just a person, and he's trying to do what he thinks is right, and sometimes that makes him do some fucked up shit. Like, he got Bernard to kill Teresa. That's not good. That's not the thing that a good guy does, you know what I'm saying? And he's trying to get Bernard to kill Elsie now, so, like, but the thing that I have a problem with in that scene is that he acts as though he knows for sure what Elsie is going to do. And I think it's kind of interesting because Ford's take is sort of, humans will always be against hosts, which we know isn't necessarily true based on other humans that we've seen. and based on Ford himself, who is human and who is fighting to free the hosts. So it's like his logic is flawed from the beginning because he's human and he wants good for the hosts. So it's clear that not all humans are going to be against the hosts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this properly. It seems like sometimes I don't and y'all misunderstand me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that Bernard has gotten rid of him. I don't know if he has or not. I'm gonna doubt that, but I do think that we can trust Elsie, and I could be wrong, you know, I don't know. I don't know the future, but the thing is, neither does Ford, so, like, can he not pretend that he does? That's my thing, that's all I'm saying. But I'm glad that Bernard did not hurt Elsie, and I hope that she does not get hurt, and that she makes it, and Bernard makes it, and I hope that that's not the last we see of Ford, because, yeah, I am invested in his story. I do really like him as a character. I just think that, like lots of characters, like Dolores, he doesn't always make the best choices. Speaking of Bernard and Elsie, Bernard told Elsie that the Forge is where Dolores is going, and where I'm assuming William is headed as well, and it's where they keep all of the data for all of the guests that have come through the park. Now, I don't know if that's true. I feel like it is true. But yeah, we're gonna have to see in the next episode if that's where they end up going, and if it gets destroyed, that would destroy Delos' entire project, and that's why Abernathy is such a kind of linchpin of everything, because he is holding the data too, I think. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see where that goes. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is Dolores and Teddy and everything that is happening or happened there. So first we saw Dolores and Teddy in the beginning come up against Aki's tribe. Aki wasn't there, but we saw them come up against Ghost Nation. And Ghost Nation didn't want the Deathbringer to get to the Valley Beyond because they don't think that she is going to do good things with it, which, to be fair, yeah, understandable. And so they're trying to stop her, and she's going to keep going. And so there's a face-off, and pretty much everyone but Dolores and Teddy and the one guy that Teddy later lets get away die. So Teddy is supposed to be making sure everyone is dead, and he sees the one guy that's like the second in command to Aki, and he makes the choice to let him go, which I like, because there's the old Teddy, you know? The old Teddy is still in there somewhere, and he's fighting to get back to the surface. Then we kind of went away from them for most of the episode, and then we came back to Dolores and Teddy at the end. They're having this conversation, and something that I really liked that they said, hold on, I have to look at my notes because I'm not going to remember it exactly, but it was something along the lines of, they're talking about, Dolores is telling Teddy that she changed him into a monster, as he called it, so he could survive, right? Because she knew that the Teddy that wouldn't survive the war that she was going to bring, and she needed him to survive because she loves him. And so she changed him. And then Teddy brings up such a great point, one of my favorite points when people make it, because it's so true, is that, like, essentially, if they survive by becoming as bad as the people that they're fighting, then they haven't really survived at all. Then there's no point to surviving. They're not really living. And I just love that, right? If you survive by becoming a monster, then you haven't survived. If humanity changes inherently, or hosts change who they are inherently, like Dolores has, in order to survive, then Dolores hasn't survived, because she's not Dolores anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So I really loved that aspect of it. And I thought he was going to shoot her at first, but then he's like, no, I could never hurt you, because she said, like, you can't hurt me or something like that. And he's like, no, I can't. I will protect you until the day that I die. And I can't protect you anymore. And then obviously that goes to the inevitable conclusion of Teddy shooting himself, and now we know why Teddy's in the water. I thought it was a great scene. There's a cat attacking the shit out of my leg, sorry. But I thought it was ow, this hurts me, Dean. But I thought it was a great scene, and I hope so much that it is a sort of wake-up call for Dolores, and that she, I don't know, at least alter her course a little bit. Even if she still feels that she has to do what she is been on this mission to do this whole time, maybe she'll try to do it in a different way now, or she's just going to double down and be even worse because she doesn't have anything to hold on to anymore. You know, it's going to go one of those ways, and I'm not really sure which way, but I hope that it goes the way towards honoring Teddy's memory and not towards losing more of who she is. I think that that's all that I have to say about this episode. I am really excited / nervous to watch the finale of season 2 next week, or, well, I'm probably going to watch it in like 10 minutes, but you'll see it like a week after this airs. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. This was honestly one of my favorite episodes of this season. I think last episode was amazing. This episode is amazing. I'm expecting amazing freaking things for the next episode, so hopefully they aren't like letting me go up and then they're gonna like take me down, you know. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode and if you loved it as much as I did. And yeah, that's it. So until next week and the season finale, bye guys.